Hi there, welcome to a new episode of the Community Show. I'm Casey Worley. On this week's show, we're going to have What's Going On, and then we'll move on to this week's Short Sports Action. And then finally, on this week's Something to Chat About, we will have another safety tip from Citizens Safety Team, and then we will have another healthy living tip with Lanice Anderson. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome to this week's What's Going On. We will begin by discussing Wytheville news, sponsored by the Wytheville Enterprise. A former Wytheville restaurant operator and former town cop was convicted of a misdemeanor bad check charge on Thursday. Joseph Joe Pasilico, age 33, of Pulaski, had been facing felony charges related to employees' payroll checks from the now defunct Joe's Pizzeria and Italian restaurant on Main Street. The Commonwealth dropped 2 charges and reduced a third to a misdemeanor. In a brief hearing this week, Pasilico pleaded guilty to the August of 2012 misdemeanor charge and was given a suspended 1-year jail sentence and placed on probation for a year. In addition to paying court costs, Pasilico has to pay a former employee $250 by December 31st. Next, convicted in a plot to steal from a rural retreat convenience store, a married woman will be sentenced in February of 2014. Amy Sue Spence, aged 54, pleaded no contest on Thursday in Wythe County Circuit Court to a conspiracy to commit grand larceny charge. She was indicted on a conspiracy to commit robbery charge, but the Commonwealth amended the charge. According to a summary of the evidence, Spence and her husband David Cole Younger, aka Alvin Spence, who is still awaiting trial, planned to rob the Spirit store at the Crossroads on January 13th. An informant, though, tipped off police, and they found and arrested Spence and the co-defendant in the store's parking lot. At the time, police said that they found a pellet pistol and ski masks in their vehicle. Convicted on July 29th of 3 felonies related to an October 27, 2012 robbery at Wytheville's Papa John's Pizzeria, Eric Dwayne Dempsey, age 33, of Adkins, was given a 4-year prison sentence on October 23rd. After his release from prison, Dempsey will be on probation for 10 years for his conspiracy to commit robbery, abduction, and malicious wounding convictions. Police said that Dempsey and co-defendant David Cole Younger, also known as Alvin Spence, who is still awaiting trial, locked a store employee in a cooler and assaulted him during the incident. The employee was treated for non-life-threatening injuries at a local hospital and then was released. A Wytheville businessman has been indicted in Buchanan County Circuit Court on 4 counts of embezzlement and 1 count of conspiracy to embezzle from a food pantry in Grundy. Marshall Lineberry of Cove Road is free on a $5,000 unsecured bond, according to a Circuit Court spokesman. Indicted on October 25th, Lineberry is accused of taking money from Cope House, the spokesman said. Several calls to Buchanan County Commonwealth's Attorney General, Gerald Arrington, were not returned. Lineberry is listed as director of West Star Charitable Foundation Incorporated by the State Corporate Commission. He was also a building contractor doing masonry work and home improvements, local businesses acquaintances said. The Wythe County Board of Supervisors is 1 step closer to recognizing the Lead Mines Rescue Squad, but has not ruled out the idea of putting local rescue squads under one umbrella. At its last meeting, October 22nd, supervisors approved a new board of directors for the Lead Mines Squad. The move comes after a September meeting at which the board voted to apply for an emergency medical service license on behalf of the county. Supervisors instructed the county staff to conduct a study of the organizational structure of emergency services in other counties and to establish a financial impact statement that includes a timeline of implementation. And now for Floyd news, sponsored by the Floyd Press. Serving as a missionary in the Congo was a good life, said Chris Eggmeyer, as he reflected on his life last week. Eggmeyer, whose memory is still as sharp as his wit, turned 105 years old on July 22nd. He has been residing at Skyline Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Floyd since July, but prior to that time, he was living independently. Floyd resident Deborah Carino, who has been his caregiver doing light housekeeping and taking him to appointments for 3.5 years, says up until recently he was still using a computer and doing his own cooking. Christian Chris Victor Eggmeyer was born in England, but in 1915, when he was a young boy, the family moved to America. His father was German, and World War I was in progress, and Eggmeyer said the rising anger against the German people prompted the decision to settle here in the U.S. His father traveled here first, and then the family came later. They lived in New York City for 1 year before moving to Ossining, New York, where Eggmeyer points out Sing Sing Prison is located and people are known by a number instead of name. Chris Eggmeyer had 2 brothers and 3 sisters. His father had been born in England and spoke perfect English and beautiful German. His mother was English. Growing up in Ossining, Chris Eggmeyer received his elementary and high school education there. He was in some of the local plays and was active in the Presbyterian Church and the Christian Endeavor Youth Organization in the church. He met Edna when he was a senior in high school, and she was a junior. After a few years, they went to Chicago and attended Moody Bible Institute, from where they both graduated. The couple married in Wheaton, Illinois, in a ceremony performed by one of their professors who had become a good friend. An entry in the Floyd Veterans Parade, November 10th, will honor Private First Class Citizen Avis Harmon Cox. The World War II soldier was wounded in action 14 days after D-Day on June 20th of 1944 in France, and as a result, he died on June 23rd, 1944. It took him 3 years and 10 months to get home. Only 21 years old, Cox was single, and he was a soldier in the 29th Infantry, 115th Regiment. His parents, Hamilton and Donna Harmon Cox, and one sister, Miss Rush Burnett, lived in Dougsburg. Just when they were first notified of his death to Hamilton Cox on a March 29, 1948 telegram, notifying the family that his remains were on the way back to Virginia and he would be accompanied by a full military escort. The Coxes contacted Mayberry Funeral Home to handle arrangements. According to funeral home records, PFC Cox was one of 4 veterans that came home for funeral services that month. In its second meeting for October last week, Floyd County supervisors spent less than 20 minutes in open session paying bills and accepting, without much comment, a proposed emergency action plan for the county, and then they went behind closed doors for more than an hour to interview candidates for an open position in the County Planning Commission. After the interviews, the Board of Supervisors appointed Rebecca Howell to the commission by unanimous vote. The emergency action plan provides steps followed by county agencies in emergencies that can be caused by natural weather disasters and other contingencies. It will be reviewed and revised by the board as needed. Don't forget about the Floyd Veterans Day Parade this Sunday, November 10th at 3 o'clock right here in downtown Floyd, Virginia. And that is all for this week's What's Going On. Stay tuned. Up next, we will have this week's sports action.
This is Bud Foster speaking for Harvey's. Harvey's Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Floyd has been a great addition to the Harvey's automotive family. There's a great line of cars and trucks. You get friendly, no pressure attention, and excellent service. They have a wide selection of new Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge products, as well as lots of used vehicles at truly fantastic prices. And the only thing better than the drive out to Floyd is the drive home. Visit Harvey's Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge in Floyd, Virginia.
And now for this week's sports action, beginning with football. For the last regularly scheduled football games of the season, the Floyd County Buffaloes will travel to take on the Auburn Eagles in Rhyner on Friday, November 8th at 7 p.m. The George Wythe Maroons will play Rural Retreat on Friday, November 8th on the Maroon home field. Game time is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Fort Chiz will host Bland on Friday, November 8th with the kickoff at 7 o'clock p.m. And finally, the Floyd County Alumni game versus Eastern Montgomery will be this Saturday, November 9th at 7 p.m. Buy your tickets in advance for the game at Floyd County High School or from any alumni player. And that is all of the varsity sports activities for this week. For academic events, the Floyd County High School one-act theater team will be competing in the regional competition this Saturday, November 9th at 12 o'clock p.m. at Virginia High School in Bristol. Find out more about these events and more on your local school's website. And good luck to all of our local teams. Stay tuned. Up next, we'll have this week's Something to Chat About.
Chantilly Farm is an outdoor special events venue located in the beautiful mountains of Floyd, Virginia. From small gatherings to large festivals, Chantilly Farm is the perfect venue for outdoor events of any size. Chantilly is home to the annual Bluegrass Festival, the Floyd Auto Fair, Floyd Oktoberfest, and many other great events. Contact us to learn more about planning your next outdoor event at Chantilly Farm.
Hello, this is Cindy Weaver with Citizen Safety Team. This week's topic is heating fire safety, wood stoves, space heaters, and fireplaces. Each year, fire claims the lives of 3,400 Americans, injures 17,500, and causes billions of dollars worth of damage. People living in rural areas are more than twice as likely to die in a fire than those living in mid-sized cities or suburban areas. The misuse of wood stoves, portable space heaters, and kerosene heaters are especially common risk in rural areas. All heating equipment needs space. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Supervise children whenever a wood stove or space heater is being used. Have a 3-foot kid-free zone around open fires and space heaters. Wood stoves cause over 4,000 residential fires every year. Carefully follow the manufacturer's installation and maintenance instructions. Look for solid construction, such as plate steel or cast iron metal. Check for cracks and inspect legs, hinges, and door seals for smooth joints and seams. Use only seasoned wood for fuel, not green wood, artificial logs, or trash. In pellet stoves, burn only dry, seasoned wood pellets. Inspect and clean your pipes and chimneys annually and check monthly for damage or obstructions. Electric space heaters. Buy only heaters evaluated by a nationally recognized laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories. Check to make sure it has a thermostat control mechanism and will switch off automatically if the heater falls over. Plug space heaters directly into wall outlets and never into an extension cord or power strip. Always unplug your electric space heater when not in use. Kerosene heaters. Buy only heaters evaluated by a nationally recognized laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories, and check with your local fire department on the legality of kerosene heater use in your community. Never fill your heater with gasoline or camp stove fuel. Both flare up easily. Only use crystal clear K1 kerosene. When refueling, allow the appliance to cool first, then refuel outside. Never overfill any portable heater. Use the kerosene heater in a well-ventilated room. Fireplaces build up creosote in their chimneys and need to be cleaned out frequently. Chimneys should be inspected for obstructions and cracks to prevent deadly fires. Check to make sure the damper is open before starting any fire. Never burn trash, paper, or green wood in your fireplace. These materials cause heavy creosote buildup and are difficult to control. Use a screen heavy enough to stop rolling logs and big enough to cover the entire opening of the fireplace to catch flying sparks. Don't wear loose-fitting clothes near any open flame. Make sure the fire is completely out before leaving the house or going to bed. Allow ashes to cool before disposing of them. Place ashes in a tightly covered metal container and keep the ash container at least 10 feet away from your home and any nearby buildings. Never empty the ash directly into a trash can. Douse and saturate the ashes with water. Finally, having a working smoke alarm dramatically increases your chances of surviving a fire. And remember to practice a home escape plan frequently with your family. That is all for this week's safety tip. Watch for more tips coming soon.
Offering authentic Italian food and American food with a twist, Mickey G's features fresh seafood, brick oven pizza, outdoor dining, gluten-free options, and local produce when available. Whether dining a la carte, chef's choice, or family style, you are sure to leave satisfied. Be sure to check us out online at Facebook and coming soon to Twitter.
Finally, real Italian.
I know it's hard to want to get out and exercise after a long day of work. Your family expects you to be available for them, and adding one more thing to your already long to-do list can be absolutely overwhelming. If you're out at the crack of dawn on your way to work, zooming back home in the evenings to take care of your family, oh, and don't forget you've got to find some time for yourself. Making the decision to get out and get moving can be absolutely daunting. But if you're like me, sitting on the couch, that little voice inside of your head is really starting to get loud, and it's screaming, we've got to get up and get moving. So let's take a look at some of the reasons that you're not getting up and see what we can do to get you up and moving. I know what you're saying. Who's got time to exercise? But remember, 30 minutes of exercise can be broken into 10-minute segments. It all adds up to a healthier you. When you get off from work, come straight to the gym. If you make that stop at home or anywhere else, you're less likely to get that workout done. So head straight to the gym as soon as you leave the job. If you're worried about finances where exercise is concerned, you'll be happy to know you don't have to spend a lot of money. Walking is free. In fact, you could start a walking club at your job. Get out at lunchtime with some coworkers, get some fresh air, and get moving. If you have a TV or DVD player at home, you can rent an exercise video from the public library. You'd be amazed what you can get done right in the comfort of your own home. If the treadmill isn't your thing, that's okay. Just find something that you like and stick to it. With all of the gyms, rec centers, and fitness studios popping up, you're bound to find some group activity that you'll enjoy. Try a dance class like hip-hop or salsa, maybe Pilates or yoga. They're all entertaining and they help you burn calories while you're having fun. Okay, let's face it. This is probably the most common excuse. You just don't want to exercise. Most people see exercise as one more thing to do on their already long to-do list. But consider the benefits. 30 minutes of exercise, 3 or 4 days a week, can lower your risk of diabetes by more than 25%. Strength training increases muscle mass and decreases your risk of things like osteoporosis. And regular exercise overall makes you feel good, keeps your metabolism revved up, and helps you keep a positive attitude. Let's face it, exercise is good for you and it makes you feel good. There's always going to be something that's going to come up that you could use as an excuse. But if you find something you like and you stick to it, exercise will soon be part of your regular routine. Every day you have a choice to get up and get moving. And why not make the choice? After all, it's your life. This Healthy Living Tip of the Week is brought to you by Dr. Lanice Anderson and the Healing Tree Wellness Center. When you think health, think Healing Tree Wellness, where the impossible is possible.